Son d'un papel!
Oh, my wiener.
Sorry about that. You're watching the Weekly Wednesday What's Up? Listening to the, actually, Leonard Skinner, technically, but it's from Kingsman. Let me pause that before I get that copyright. Because you know, that's how that shit goes with YouTube nowadays. Everything's goddamn copyright. They're making it harder for us to be creators by using other people's content. Anyways, guys, I already said a lot about what's going on this week in terms of YouTube and the removing some of the privileges for people, smaller channels. Lower is derogatory terms, and we don't do that around here. And so that was pretty much this week. Shit. Among some other stuff, I did an unboxing. I finished YouTube work around 6 a.m. in the morning last night, doing editing the Flash and sending some emails to some people. It was really woof. And they're like with Black Lightning, like that's exactly why I can't like be doing another show back to back like that. It's crazy. Yeah, anyways, that's a whole nother thing. So I'm gonna I asked a few people on Patreon if they were interested in the full reaction. I'm quiet. I'm very quiet about it. Like I told them that I don't really say much in the actual video because I'm absorbing. It's the first episode, so it's time to just, you know, sit and listen. So there's not much of a reaction, I feel. But anyways, a few people want it, so I'll just drop it on there for them to check out, and we'll leave it at that. And maybe I'll pick it up later for editing, but not anytime soon. I really gotta move my ass hard on getting this Hulu contract, this Hulu feature finished for them. Oh, yeah. Anyways, today, for sure. And all that. And is there anything else? There's one thing I did want to talk to you guys about, because I feel like I haven't addressed it in a while, and I was kind of thinking about this. I was like, there's so many, like, I think it was Gamer from Mars that actually made me start thinking about this with one of his features about dead channels and channels that just straight disappeared. And I felt like that was you know, I was like, wow, there is actually a lot of people, once the demonetization happened and like when it got harder to be a YouTuber or whatever, for whatever reason, like things are changing, your audience is not as strong, you know, you have a team that breaks up or whatever like that. It's like I noticed that a lot of channels just straight bounce and leave, or they just stop doing something. They stop going with a feature. Anyways, the main point is I wanted to talk to you guys about RWBY, because I feel it's been a bit unfair that I haven't really addressed it publicly since the new season started. I think I might have, but I'm gonna reiterate it again with RWBY to let you guys know where I'm at with that show. Is the fact that we tried a few weeks ago to do the reactions to it, but then we realized, and the problem was we just were we were already like 4 or 5 hours into other videos, and then when we looked at RWBY, we were like, damn, wait a second, every episode is 20 minutes now. It was like 20 minutes, and we were like, oh man, we cannot do this today. And that was the last time I saw DC Son. So he, I've been trying to get him to come back over so we can knock these out while things are slow right now. Well, not really slow for me, but in terms of reaction type of world, I don't have much of a priority of anything else to like do reactions to. So I was gonna do it, but he just hasn't been able to come over. And I was thinking about sooner or later I might just end up doing it myself. But one of the reasons I didn't do it myself from the beginning, when the first season started, is just I felt after last season I just felt like I really couldn't give like a good solo reaction because it was so, I wouldn't say dry, but it was story building, I guess world building and such. So there wasn't really much, I felt there wasn't really much going on except for a few select moments. And I'm really, for my particular channel and the type of videos that I make, I'm really against a lot of dead space and a lot of dead air and just sitting and staring. And I know a lot of people want it, the full reactions, but I much rather prefer to upload edited highlights instead for certain shows, and RWBY was definitely one of those, because I really felt awkward uploading like 15 minutes and not really saying or having much for an input. But when you have a group of people, when you have 2 people or so, I feel like at least you can actually have a conversation in between, and that it would be a little bit better. So that's why I was so strongly wanting to just do it with a partner, do it with DC Sun, but we haven't been able to come by. He hasn't been able to come by recently, especially this week. It's his birthday, so that's basically it. So and his enthusiasm for the show far surpasses mine. I don't know, something happened after that last season with me. I don't know, it does, for whatever reason it really didn't have that same strength that my first 2 seasons when I watched it. Like, it was something like stronger. I don't know what it is, but regardless, I've heard that this season is much better and really intense. So we'll get to it sooner than later. We will get to it. In all likelihood, again, going back to what I was saying about how I don't like Dead Space, I'll probably, because Patreon has been asking for it, I'll probably put the full reactions on Patreon. It depends on if there's a lot of dead space, a lot of dead air, and I'm not doing much, then I'll probably just put the full reactions on Patreon, and so they'll get it a lot earlier and it's done. And then gradually, when I have time, I'll be editing the other ones to put on the regular free YouTube channel like that. That's my thought, my initial thought right now. If each episode is just lit and it really feels like a good conversation that me and DC Sun are having, or whomever is with me, then no problem. Like, we'll just put the whole thing up there. That's basically where I stand, guys, with RWBY right now. So I haven't forgotten about the show. I feel bad that I haven't really been able to address it, but I felt like every week I was like, okay, this is gonna be the week. This is gonna be the week we're gonna upload. This is gonna be the week we're gonna record. This is it. This is when it's gonna happen. But yeah, it did not come to be. And we're really deep. I think we're on episode 12 now or something like that. Is that it for this week, guys? I think that's about it. Moving sooner than later, but that's way down the line. When I do move, I'm planning to have it all set up a little differently. And make sure we have internet at the time, especially with the Marvel Infinity War challenge. We don't want to skip a week. It takes about 2 weeks to install internet at a new place, so I need to time that out correctly. Secondly, and then also I'm looking into producing some commercials. This is more for you guys that like to hear me talk about YouTube industry stuff, but when I'm doing these, especially when I'm doing these recap reaction show type of things, when I'm producing this show and I'm like into hour 6 or so, hour 6 of these episodes are editing, I really start thinking, I'm like, man, dude, this is a lot of work. Like, this is a lot that's being put into this one show. But sometimes, understandably so, it gets kind of labeled and it gets sort of categorized, which is a quote unquote reaction video. But anybody who's ever seen one of these recap shows, reaction recap shows, you realize it's produced more like an actual show and like an actual Fear of the Talking Dead, something like. Sorry, it's Fear of the Talking Dead, The Talking Dead, right? But anyway, so I'm gonna I figured I can't. Google, YouTube, they're not going to do it for me. They're not going to promote it for me. My MCN is probably not going to promote it for me. So I have to take it upon myself, and I'm going to just start producing some commercials for that segment, that show, and the Infinity War commercial, Infinity War challenge. And just basically I got to put money in to make money. I got to put money in to advertise, to reach an audience that hasn't realized anything. And I get it. People that might really like I have a lot of people that have come up to me and emailed me or messaged me, and they're just like, yeah, I don't like reaction videos, but I really like what you're doing with making a show and involving the fans, the Stardust Corner and all that. Or some people are just like, I straight stopped watching the show, but I watch your show because I can get all the information I need, but it edits out all the cringy parts and the slow parts of the Flash or whatever. I'm like, that's cool. I appreciate that. It was Arrow. It was specifically Arrow. People were like, man, I don't watch Arrow. I've never watched the show, but I really like your take on it and the way you put it together every week. So I appreciate that. So I really want to make awareness known of what I've been doing for the last couple of years. And let that shit pay off a lot more, you know what I mean? Because right now it's only based on some people will pick it up from the thumbnail, and I get it. My thumbnail looks pretty much the same as it Blind Wave or the Normies or anything like that. So people will just assume, oh, reaction video, not much more. And that's actually not to say with I don't know about Normies, but I know with Blind Wave, they generally also read questions. They don't edit, they don't produce it as heavily as I do, but they do read questions from the fans and through their Discord and their polls and things like that. So but theirs is just a little more simple, without any sort of pop-ups or anything like that. So I need to message them, actually, or they need to get back to me about something else, some collaboration we're working on. Guys, that's it. Sorry about that. Sorry to scare you. That's it. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to the weekly Wednesday What's Up, and I will let you guys know what's up next week. All right. Peace.